The 11 October 2022 Jackson County Commission meeting is called to order. I'd like to welcome everybody that is here and that will watch our video online. We have several items of discussions today in new business and several items of discussions that we will have in our work session. We will also be going into an executive session to discuss status of contract preparation and negotiation items. With that, we'd like Mr. Manning, the county administrator, to please call the roll to establish a quorum.
Yes, sir. Mr. Rich, Mr. Venable, Mr. Buckner.
Present.
Mr. McBride.
Present.
We do have a quorum. At this time, if everyone would please stand, we'd like to ask Mr. Porter, our county attorney, to offer an invocation, and Commissioner Buckner to please lead our pledge of allegiance.
God, our Father in heaven, we are thankful to be citizens of this great country and of this county, and the beauty that we see around us, and also for the people of this county and of this country. God, we pray that you'll continue to bless America. Pray that you'll continue to bless this county. May you watch over us and guide us every day. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In the packet is the agenda for our 11 October commission meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda for the 11 October commission meeting?
Yeah, I'll make the motion. We approve the agenda for today.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Do we have any awards or presentations today? Or any public comment? Okay, if we have none, we will move into the new business portion of our meeting. The first order of business in our new business portion is a motion to approve the minutes from our September the 2nd, 2022 meeting and work session. Those minutes were distributed previously for review, and a copy is in your packet for review as well. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the September 2nd, 2022 meeting and work session?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
No, second that.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next up in our new business portion of the meeting is item we discussed in our last two work sessions, has to do with the approval, a motion to approve animal control to receive the funds from Emily's Law registration fee for dangerous animals. Our county attorney has made a suggestion and submitted an email to all of us that as we consider this, that we should also consider the fee for Jackson County Dangerous Animal Ordinance and the allocation of that fee. So we'd like to get into discussion of that after we take a motion and a second on this matter. So do I have a motion to approve animal control to receive funds from Emily's Law registration fee for dangerous animals?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. A second?
Second.
So open for discussion. At this time, I'd like to just open up for discussion the consideration of including and amending this motion to include the Jackson County Dangerous Animal Ordinance registration fee. The local ordinance dealing with dangerous animals contains the $100 annual registration fee for a dog that has been declared dangerous. So the proposal is that this motion be amended to include the Jackson County Dangerous Animal Ordinance fee also being allocated to our animal control. So open for discussion, and if I could, I'd like to ask our county attorney to just a brief discussion of this.
Sure. You may remember that when Emily's Law was passed, even before Emily's Law, dealing with dangerous dogs, the Jackson County had passed a local ordinance that applies in Jackson County and the municipalities of Jackson County that did not opt out. So it's most of the municipalities, not Scottsboro, but some of the municipalities, and it applies to the same thing, except the local ordinance deals with injuries to both persons and other animals. The state law only deals with injuries to persons. So there is a separate ordinance dealing with some of these animals, and it also has a $100 annual registration fee. And my recommendation is that you include that registration fee in addition to the registration fee assessed by the state statute to the sheriff's department, or however he's going to allocate it.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that, because as we commented last time, I see where we would at best break even and probably lose money by the time that we went through the application, checked the premises to make sure everything was up to standard. I mean, and not that we're in the money-making mode on this, but we certainly shouldn't take on the burden to provide this service without at least breaking even. So I think the 100 plus 100 is very much in line with what needs to happen here.
I agree. Okay. So if no further discussion, the recommendation is to amend the motion to read, motion to approve animal control to receive funds from Emily's Law registration fee and Jackson County dangerous animal ordinance registration fee for dangerous animals. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the reception of $100 from both the Emily's Law and the Jackson County dangerous dog as well.
Ordinance, excuse me.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
No, I'll second that.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
No.
Motion carries to approve the amended motion. Next in your packet, or next on our new business agenda, is a motion to approve and sign a resolution in favor of Amendment 2 and Amendment 7 that will be placed on the November 8, 2022 general election ballot. In your packet is a proposed resolution. The ACCA, our Association of County Commissioners for Alabama, in their legislative session last year, proposed that the county commissions support these two amendments, and that was unanimously approved by the legislation committee last year. And so they are placed on this year's ballot. And so, do I have a motion to approve and sign a resolution in favor of Amendment 2 and Amendment 7 on November the 8th, 2022 general election ballot?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Any discussion?
I think this is a good thing to support. Definitely the expansion of broadband is going to be a very much a plus for us as we move forward.
Okay, any further discussion? No further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next in your packet is a motion to approve and sign a resolution recognizing Coach Sam Kinnemer. If I can get a motion second, then I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner McBride for discussion.
I
So,
make a motion.
do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we accept it.
Do we have a second?
No, I'll second that.
So with that, let me turn it over to Commissioner McBride for discussion.
Thank you. On October 14th, Pisgah High School and the community, as Jackson County as a whole, will be celebrating the achievements, accomplishments, and the dedication of Coach Sam Kinnemer. he's given so much to our community, our county, that we want to give a little back. We want to, of course, present him with a resolution. I think they'll start that celebration around 4 before the ball game, and they'll have a meeting starting at 5:30. It's going to just be a short meeting. We'll present it at that time. But it reads as follows. It says, whereas the Jackson County Commission is pleased to honor and commend Coach Sam Kimmer for his dedication to the Pisgah High School and community, and whereas Coach Sam Kimmer coached the Pisgah High School football team for 14 total seasons, served as an assistant coach of the basketball team, started the Pisgah High School baseball team, and served as principal of Pisgah High School from 1982 to 1989. And whereas Coach Sam Kimmer has devoted himself wholly to the football players, basketball players, baseball players, students, and Pisgah community and their successes by providing his support during his 29 years tenure at Pisgah High School. His support continues. And whereas the former Pisgah High School football players coached by Sam Kimmer have achieved a premier level of success while showing the highest degree of character both on and off the field and throughout their lives. And whereas the Jackson County Commission finds it appropriate to acknowledge and applaud Coach Sam Kimmer along with his wife Jo Kimmer for serving as an example of the exceptional quality for Pisgah High School and the Pisgah community. And therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the Jackson County Commission, declare Coach Sam Kimmer to be worthy of high praise and special recognition, approved on October 11, 2022.
Any other comment?
Here, great job.
So with no further discussion, all in favor of motion to approve and sign the resolution recognizing Coach Sam Kimmer, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda we have several hiring recommendations coming from hiring panels. First is in your packet is a letter from our county engineer, Mr. Jonathan Campbell, to recommending approving hiring committee's recommendation to promote an HMT1 to an HMT2 at Public Works Department. Do I have a motion to approve the hiring committee's recommendation?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next, we have a hiring committee that is making recommendation for hiring to fill 2 vacant HMT1 positions at Public Works Department. The 2 letters are in your packet for the recommendations for those hirings. Do I have a motion to approve the hiring committee's recommendation for 2 vacant HMT1 positions at Public Works Department?
I'll make that recommendation.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. So that completes the new business portion of our agenda. At this time, we will move into the work session. We have a number of discussion items from our county park department, our maintenance department, and our public works department. So first, let me turn it over to our director of county park.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. First thing I was going to talk to you about this afternoon is North Alabama Trails and Recreation is currently accepting applications for a $5,000 grant to be used towards the upkeep, remodel, planning, maintenance, anything that involves outdoor recreation infrastructure. My recommendation is one of the projects we were wanting to do this winter at the park is renovating our bathhouses and public restrooms. It's probably one of the most commented items that we received, negative comment that we received at the park is the condition of those bathrooms. With your recommendation, or with your approval, I'll go ahead and apply for the grant and move forward. If we receive it, we'll apply those funds to it. It's a payback system, but definitely something that's needed.
Okay. Any discussion?
So the bathhouses you're talking about are the ones that are is accessible, not in the campgrounds, but.
It's going to be both. It's going to be the public restroom located near the park store,
Mhm.
and also one of the 2 bathhouses within the campground.
Okay.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the payback portion of this.
What was the question?
The payback portion of
Yes.
this, if you would hit on that a little bit.
Okay. So right now they're saying. The awards will be announced October 31st of this year with a project completion date of the 23rd or August 1st of next year. I do not have the timeline of when the payback would occur.
But the expectation is you're going to perform the work and then you can apply the grant.
That is correct.
Finished.
Our maintenance crew there would take on the challenge. After the rebuild of the kiddie park bathroom that was vandalized, it was made obvious that it's well within our scope.
Okay. Can we put this on new business for 24 October meeting?
Mr. Chairman, I wanted to. The only problem is I this morning realized that this application is due by October 15th.
Okay, so we need to set aside the rules and approve a motion to apply for a $5,000 NATR grant.
Yes, please.
I make a motion that we set aside the rules to consider the grant application.
Have a second. We have a second. All in favor say aye. Do I have a motion to approve applying for a $5,000 NATR grant for bathhouse renovation?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. We have a second.
I second that.
All in favor say aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much. So I think also from our Director of County Park, we have one other item, NATR designation.
Yeah, the National Recreation Trail is currently seeking applications for designation as an NRT recognized trail. Currently in the Jackson County area, we have 2 that are currently being advertised on their website, Goose Pond and City Park. This recognition, we would be placed on their website, which is nationally recognized. Some of the things that the American Trails do, their online resources, planning, building, designing, funding, managing, and supporting trails and greenways across the United States. The Vernon Bush Garden Trail, I feel would be a good candidate to be a recipient of this designation. The designation application, or the application is due November 1st, so we still have time to put this on the next meeting. With your approval, though, I will move forward with getting that application ready, and if you have any questions about this designation.
Good.
No, I'm super excited about this because, again, if we've learned anything in the past couple of years, we need to be outside more, we need to be more active, and we need to take advantage of the natural resources we've been blessed with. So thank you for looking for opportunities like this and working to expand. And so full speed ahead, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, let me comment. I really appreciate that in your role as director of our county parks and parks system, that you are looking for these opportunities to go get funding to help us with maintenance and upgrade of the facilities in our county parks. So thanks very much for that. So if nothing else, we will move on to our
Mr. Chairman, can I have one more second? Just
Okay.
I want to touch on an event that we do have coming up to
Thank you.
at the park. The Tennessee Riverline is going to be doing a shoreline cleanup on October 29th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Any support from the community, from commissioners, chairman, would be greatly appreciated. Lunch will be provided and should be a pretty good event.
All right, it's 9 to 11.
Yes, sir.
And also, Are there any things in particular you're needing volunteered or donated or?
Still looking for the donation of the use of flat bottom boats to be able to access a little bit further out into the waterway.
So hopefully some boat operators would be willing to devote a little bit of time between 9 and 11.
If they could, yes.
Yeah, because we're gonna have volunteers there, they just need to be able to get out there.
Correct.
You're not necessarily looking for somebody to say, here's my boat.
No.
Go do it.
Yeah, I would want the operator there as well.
And if I remember right, you reached out to the Chamber of Commerce and others, and they are helping with the advertisement for this. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, now we will turn it over to our Director of Maintenance, Mr. Colby Gann.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Commissioners. We submitted a job description for the maintenance journeyman position. The only thing that we changed in that is exactly the same as it was last year, except we put the language in there that in the absence of the maintenance director, the journeyman would take a supervisory role over the custodians to ensure that everything got done. Other than that, the job description is exactly as it was last year, so that's the only addition.
And the grade and step
Is the
will
same.
remain the same as it currently is?
Yes.
It's just defining the authority.
Yes, it's just, it was already implied in there, we just adjusted the language so that it would actually state that.
Very good.
Okay, good. And I think one of the things that we've noticed and we've talked about is in each of our departments, someone should be designated in the absence of the director to step in and have that supervisory responsibility. So thanks for taking this on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we can put this on the new business agenda on our 24 October meeting.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next on the agenda is we have discussed in the safety committee a number of times the need for some upgrades in courtroom 1, both in electrical and as well as in some of the locking systems that we have up there. So let's go to that item on the agenda.
Thank you, Chairman. In your packets, you should have 2 quotes that look like this. It's actually 3 total. 2 of them are from JMB Electronic Systems LLC. I'm going to go over estimate 337 first. It should be in the upper right corner. Just to let y'all know why these are separated like this and what it entails. This estimate is for upgrades to the electronic locking system that the judges are wanting in that courtroom. It expands upon the system that they already have up there. That's all for that estimate. And it adds up, it's on this one, it's $3,360.75. Okay, on estimate 343, this entails work that he would be doing, buying stuff for me in the maintenance department to do some electrical upgrades to hide some cordage. They've got 19 items plugged up underneath their bench up there, and they're all hooked up haphazardly. It's something we definitely been needing to fix. But this estimate is for things to be able to hide the cords so that they're not in the way and to be able to put everything up in a reasonable fashion. On the next paper, which is the next one to that, the chairman asked me to put together a list of things, a list of prices for items that I'm also going to be doing in there that the judges asked for in that courtroom, and that's what that entails. So the total amount is for everything is $5,505.23. And
Say that again, please.
$5,505.23. mayor asking us to pay half of that.
They being,
The judges, Judge Graham,
oh,
So they have, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
wait a minute. So the thing that concerns me is when we're talking about security measures, I mean, is this needs to be kind of pushed forward, doesn't it?
they have a locking system in there. They're just asking for an additional locking area, which would lock off the back hallway that leads from courtroom to courtroom.
But again,
Or courtroom three and courtroom
it's a measure that would increase safety for
Absolutely.
the staff, the judges,
Yes.
access people,
Absolutely.
witnesses, so on and so forth. Okay.
And one of the issues I think that was brought up in the security meeting is that hallway being open, individuals in courtroom 3, particularly if you carry individuals back there for discussions, then that hallway is open for people to come back through and they do not have a locking system.
Yeah, if that back hall, like, they can circumvent any security that courtroom has right now and go through the small one and come in the back way.
So is the courtroom currently being used? Are they in session, out of session? What is their status?
Right now, for the next 2 weeks, they're out of session.
So the question that we have before us here is shared costs between the commission and the circuit judge for the cost of this. I believe that to do that, we would need to take a vote on it. And that would be, we would again have to set aside the rules because we have 2 weeks that started Friday, well, this week and next week, which the courtroom is not in use, that we could get this work done.
Be a perfect time to do it. I mean, we've all been up there and we've looked at these issues and we're aware it needs done.
So I believe we have to take a motion to set aside rules again to consider this. Do I have a motion to set aside the rules?
I'll make a motion, we set aside the rules.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. So do I have a motion for the Jackson County Commission to share 50/50 the cost of the electrical upgrades and repairs to courtroom 1?
I make a motion that we split the cost 50/50 with the judges to get the needed repairs, and we do so as soon as possible.
Do I have a second?
I'll say.
All in favor say aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
All right, one question, and I guess I should have asked this before voting, but the last page is, we're talking in kind.
That's stuff that I just have to order. The chairman just asked me to put what it's costing us besides what's on this in order to do that, to do the things that they're asking for.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's all it was.
Okay. With that, next, Public Works. Item of discussion is contract employee.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. Please find in your information a contract, post-retirement employment contract, the document's titled, and I'll reference that as I get on into discussion. So we received notification that Ms. Del Ward intends to retire after her 25-year plus service with the county. And in addition to losing a fantastic person and a employee that we are so grateful has spent such dedication with the county, it does bring about a call to action for her replacement due to the fact that she serves a magnificent role in our operation. So there are a couple of suggestions as far as going forward in advance of the date, which she intends to be the end of January, on options that we have to make ready for that date. I'll start with the first one as the strongest recommendation and then move on to other options if I may. Considering the fact that we have two heavy hitters in the assignment realm that she performs that have just passed us, one of those being the budget and the other being the annual inventory and audit process and the annual bids. We're kind of on the behind the eight ball on having someone present to witness and be trained for that operation. So the post-retirement employment contract is an option that I would suggest, that upon the date of their retirement, we could retain Ms. Ward and seek a new person for that role, and then utilize her services for training to assist us and be with us for a range of 6 months to potentially 2 years. And so I know that's broad, but there are a lot of unknowns that would factor into that situation, whether it be recruitment and the right person and the training and the progress and things that could go along with that. The other option I'll mention is to act now and backfill that position, which would entail essentially 2 full-time positions now, and then we would be slightly restrained on time we would have to allow for the overlap in training to occur before that end of January date of retirement. We've done both of these processes. We tried option number 2 that I just discussed with our assistant engineer position, and although it did work and give us some overlap in time, it was really too short. So there at the end, there was more information that really needed to be conveyed that was not. So I feel better about option 1, and that's why I started with it. And the terms of the contract, to let you know and give you background on how this was arrived, this is an example of an existing contract that we have in place, and we plug and played with the names and the appropriate terms in there to meet this position versus the one that's actually existing. So I think the items are self-explanatory. I would like to talk about the compensation, just to let you know that it's the existing compensation of that employee, rounded up a few cents to the nearest dollar amount to get that to the even dollar amount. So it's essentially the same as the earnings now. The rest obviously details the fact that there's no benefits, no leave time, no insurance. It's just pay. So the savings is realized comparatively there between option 1 and option 2. So option 1, by waiting, retaining, we enter into a part-time situation where we're only pay, versus now with backfilling, we would have 2 positions, all this obviously for free. We would have 2 positions full-time to where it's full-time with pay and benefits, et cetera.
Jonathan, one question real quick. Where would that put her on the salary cap for the retirement system and all that?
So it would be with under, I think that moved up to 36, is that 38?
And then 32 for?
Yeah, so this would be well under that. That, I figured that on 1,040 hours at this rate of pay that's mentioned would be well under that cap.
All right, so my question is this going to cap her at that retirement level for budgetary purposes, so that you know that regardless of how long she continues in this realm, you're going to be able to have the money for it?
So if we look at the 20 hours that's described in this, so we're looking at a 20-hour minimum for part-time employment. We take those hours and we apply the rate that's here, we'll be well under that cap that's required for post-retirement.
And you have the funds in budget to be able to cover the cost of this contract employee?
Yes, sir. So we would lean on our vacancy. You know, this is essentially less than half of an entry-level position. So the vacancies that occur throughout the year will more than well leave her this.
For me, I think the one concerning thing is the ambiguity of how long this may go. 6 months to 2 years is a big variance.
Right.
So is there this is the needed time, or are you just thinking that it may take me a year to put somebody in, and thus I'm gonna need her part-time for a year and then part-time as a mentor, or what's your parameters for your range there?
So for the process in general, I don't see a way any sooner than 6 months that any of this could take place. So if we look at advertisement, recruitment, going through the process of getting approved and starting, for that 6-month time period, there is a breadth of information and processes that really have to be witnessed and worked through, and they occur at different times of the year. So over the course of the year, there are major undertakings, and we can make notes and turn over diagrams and flow charts and lines to do this, but having someone that's done it for 25 years to be by their side and assist and actually do it, and that person be able to make notations of that. We run a very lean operation, I would submit to you. So there are 2 employees that operate in a clerk position. One is essentially consumed by public relations, as well as data entry on tracking and record keeping from crew activity. And then all the other literally falls in this side of the house. So it's a lot of operations and a lot of processes that really need to be worked through with someone to lean on.
So I'll ask the question another way. So once your replacement is hired, how long would you need Ms. Dale to stay with them?
That would really depend on if that was a successful recruitment and that person stayed. If that person is Johnny on the spot and we crunch through 6 months of this, and we've seen maybe not all of the process, but a lot of it. Or if we had to start over, if we get 3/4 of the way through this and have to start over, that's the reason that my answer is broad, because for me to tell you it could happen in 6 months, for me to tell you 1 year, I don't see any way really that it could take more than 2 years, but maybe it could. But I definitely don't see it any sooner than 6 months.
Well, based on your scenario of if somebody pulls up, like frequently does, we start this over, I mean, 2 years can become 10 years, I mean, because it would just be an ever-evolving process. And I'm just wanting to think from a budgetary standpoint. I don't want to hand tie you. By the same token, I don't want you bound to keep somebody for 2 years that you only need for 6 months.
Yeah, so this can be terminated with 30 days notice. So it would be at the discretion of the department head to terminate this. And that's a two-way street, so that's either party.
Right.
Okay,
Good job.
so we could put this on the agenda for the 24th to invite you, get this filled out and bring back to us for approval. To
Yes, sir,
proceed
if
way
this
on the
makes for your
24th.
approval.
Okay, is that fair?
Sounds good.
Okay, all right. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
I would like to ask one question if I could. Could you give us a quick status of the work that is going on regarding County Roads 93 and 38? I know we have an engineering firm that's doing the analysis, and we've been watching that analysis. So if you could give a quick update.
Sure. So this is a few days old, but not very old. This was communication between the project manager and myself, operations manager. And the last correspondence says, we have been assured our Atlanta lab is wrapping up final labs, and all that remains is to update the models with the final strength parameters. Then we will have reports ready to send for senior review. So this is a week or two removed, but the lab analysis is taking place off-site. They have to have that information to finalize the models. And I've already seen some of the preliminary models and some of the information on where some of this is heading, but all this has to be compiled, and then senior engineers within the corporation review the work that's been done and make sure they can agree upon the recommendations. And just as a reminder, the models and the work information in those reports is one step, and there's also mitigation recommendations that we're expecting within this report. So it takes some, collaboration. So all that, I think we're getting near to seeing something released to us.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, current paving is paving season over, any other work gonna be done this year?
So technically, seasonal limitations would be up on chip seal. We're still working with the intent of the possibility that we could still see some paving work take place at both High Top Road and County Road 189. So we're a little less than half a mile, little more than half a mile of having the rest of the reclamation done on County Road 189. We still have some work to do on High Top Road, but it's not a whole lot. So as far as still remaining out there, there's 520, there's County Road 189, and there's High Top Road that have all been approved if we can get them paved. I will say that last week, we wrapped up County Road 88 and County Road 96. That is micro surfacing, okay? So that, just as a reminder, that was a pavement preservation that was approved. So if you are near County Road 88, please take a look at that. That by all measures, unless you watched it go down, I believe someone would sign on the paper that it was paved. But that is pavement preservation.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else?
Anything else?
Just, want to say thanks. So Jonathan and I took a ride around the county and around my district, last Sunday, and we took a look at some of the roads, and we got to do something with several of the roads in all the districts, but we all know that, but thanks for the time.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, thanks very much for the work from your crews. With that, we're through with our discussion items in our work session. And we will move to reports from the staff. County Administrator?
Nothing else, thank you.
Okay. County Engineer?
No, sir,
Any comment? County Attorney?
Nothing, thank you, sir.
I do think we have a comment from our Director of Maintenance.
Y'all should have this. I handed it to you before the meeting. It's a Otis service and repair order for our elevator that went down. About 2 weeks ago, the starter motor on elevator 1 got stuck in the on position while it was during the weekend, and all the people were here were dispatched, and it ran for a few hours, and it absolutely destroyed the hydraulic system in the elevator. That would be the hydraulic. It ruined the oil, it ruined the motor, and this is a proposal from them to replace all of that. What happened was it's got an old electric starter on it, and the contacts actually welded itself together. So we can go over the scope of work. The existing power unit we replaced with a new power unit. The new power unit consists of a positive displacement pump, motor, integral four-port valve, control valve, oil tank, and muffler. The pump and muffler submerged and are mounted in the tank, rubber isolation with reduced vibration and noise. This is pretty much just a hydraulic system. The solid state starter. This is a new and improved version than the one that we had. Ours was very old. The solid state starter controls the motor starting and limit inrush current. The new starter shall have a built-in protection for overload conditions, reverse phase, loss of phase, and shorted SCR. So that should keep it from doing this again. We're just kind of behind on all this. On page 3 is at the top is what this is going to cost us.
Are there other companies that?
Not that'll work on this elevator. This is
the only.
This is Otis. This is an Otis elevator. It's their control systems and everything. I did reach out to some other companies, and they wanted to change a whole lot more than this.
Yeah.
So they'd work on it. And then we would lose our service agreement that we have with Otis as far as general maintenance and upkeep on the car and everything. They take care of that. They don't charge us. So.
Definitely something we need to take care of pretty soon. I mean, can't do without elevator.
So I think this is an item that's in our building maintenance budget that's already approved. So this wanted Mr. Gann to give us an update on this and what the cost could be. But these funds, County Administrator, I believe, are covered in the approved budget that we have. So any comment?
Yeah, just With the money being available, what is the timeline on starting and completing this?
If we can, well, this will get sent out as soon as possible, once we get done with this. And it would probably within 3 weeks, they would be able to have the part and everything done. It's pretty extensive what they've got to do, but the timeline should be within 3 weeks from the time we get this signed and sent back to them.
Okay. And as far as the sheriff's department having access, are they able to make accommodations for what they would normally use that elevator for?
At this time, they have to come in and use the elevator inside. They can scan in and come in, but it just, in the long run, that turns into a security issue for them.
Yep.
So.
So I want to make sure, given that this is an item that's covered by our budgeted maintenance contract of the building, that this does not require a vote. We've already voted this. Okay. Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you, Chuck.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any other comments from staff? Okay, if not, we'll move to comments from the commission. District 4, Commissioner McBride.
Nothing to add, sir.
District 3, Commissioner Buckner.
Oh, I'm going to. The barbecue day this past Saturday was an outstanding event. Everybody that got to come, I know you enjoyed that, appreciated it. It was a Chamber of Commerce day as far as the weather and just the activities involved. But thank you to everybody that was involved in the setup, overseeing, getting the vendors, making sure everything was provided for. Just a very, very, very good day. Second thing I want to mention, in our trip to DC, we met with Representative Adderholt's office, and they were very much interested in supporting us in terms of receiving grants for things like bike trails. And because what I'm noticing in my travels across North Alabama, some very interesting bike trails are out there, so that maybe we could look at certain routes that we're working with as bike trail eligible. And so we want to make sure, and they were very specific about the things you wanted to request, so I would encourage us to reach out to Representative Adderholt to make sure that happens. So thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, my comment I have is that yesterday I took the time to ride out and take a look at our progress on our Captain John Snodgrass Bridge that crosses the Tennessee River on Alabama 117. A significant amount of progress has been done there, more than I would have expected in that what had originally been projected as a 2-year timeline. So I'd just like to say thanks to AlDOT and thanks to our Public Works coordination with AlDOT on that. A lot has been done, and so great progress is being made on that bridge. It looks great, by the way. If painting is an indication of work, it really looks great. But with that, our next meeting date is scheduled for October the 24th, 2022 at 3:30 is start date. And with that, at this time, I'd like to go into executive session to get an update on our design for our HVAC system upgrade for the courthouse, and discussions that will apply to the bid package that we will put on the street for bid. So we need to go to executive session to have those discussions. I would like all that are participants in the courthouse to please stay for this update, because we'll be looking at getting your input to upgrade this 95% to 100%. So with that, do I get a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make that motion, we go into executive session.
Do I have a second?
I'll say.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much.